KPRC TV, Houston.
Hello, this is Scott. Good afternoon from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. I'm Ray Scott, and by my side is Joe Namath. Joe, what a day for you to be here with the quarterbacks very much in the news of this game.
Well, it's a strange situation. Cody Carlson is starting for the Houston Oilers. Of course, he's had a chance to be prepared the last couple of seasons with this offense, and he has a huge offensive line. Of course, on the other side, Steve Beuerlein, he's had these distractions this week with Jay Schrader coming in, so I think Beuerlein is going to have a more difficult time than Carlson today.
Okay, the Raiders won the toss and elected to receive. Tony Zendejas about ready to kick off. Delighted you're with us, and let's hope we have a good one from Houston, Texas. But before we have the kickoff, Tony Zendejas is not quite satisfied with the position of the ball. He'll be kicking to one of the most exciting young men to come in this league in a long while. His name is Timmy Brown, and he's wearing number 81. And with him back there is Chris Woods, a wide receiver. Maybe we'll find out if Zendejas is going to risk kicking it in the direction of Brown. They're kicking it definitely away from Brown, and it's going to be a touchback. No risk there. They know about that 97-yard touchdown return of last week.
The risk in that kick and keeping it away from Tim Brown is kicking it out of bounds, so this was the perfect kick in the end zone on the left side.
You've already met Steve Beuerlein unofficially. His running backs will be Steve Smith and Marcus Allen. And the wide receivers, well known to most of you, James Lofton and Willie Gault. And the veteran at tight end is Todd Christensen. An offensive line of Mosbar, Hannah, Lewis, Wilkerson, and Graves. Now, Graves is a rookie. He's called into action because of an injury. But here we go from the 20-yard line of the Raiders. And there goes Marcus Allen, but not very far, for maybe a yard or so, before he's met by Doug Smith, the huge nose guard, a part of that three-man front that the Houston Oilers employ. And there they are. Smith flanked by Childress and Bird, and Childress had some honors coming his way for his outstanding play last week against the Colts in a winning effort. Backed up by Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Needs. That's Al Smith. And a secondary of Dishman, Johnson, Bostic, and Donaldson. And Dishman's playing because Steve Brown was injured last week. Second down, about 8 from the 22-yard line of the Raiders, just underway from Houston. That's Allen, who went to the I-back position. Beuerlein. Quite a bit of time. Whoop. Flag down. There was a meeting between Dishman, the cornerback, and Gault, the intended receiver, around the 40-yard line or 45-yard line of the Raiders.
Yeah, Dishman appeared to get his arm tangled up with Gault. I like the way Steve Beuerlein hung in the pocket. Defensive holding is the call. Hung in the pocket, but what I also noticed was pretty good pass rush by the Oilers.
Holding defense number 28. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that's a first down.
In addition to referee Ben Dreith, we'll tell you the other officials in a moment, but meanwhile, here's what happened on the last play.
Well, you see in the top right of the screen, Willie Gault is trying to get to the outside to catch the pass, and Dishman tangled him up with his arm. I was talking with Al Locassell yesterday, the executive director with the Raiders, and he told me that Willie Gault is really something special. Even with a slightly pulled hamstring, he says Gault is still like an airplane.
Well, he led the Bears in receiving for 5 years before coming to the Raiders. It's a first down for the Raiders at their own 27-yard line. First and 10, and the cornerbacks are playing tight on the wide receivers. Meanwhile, Christensen, the tight end, moves to the left side. Beuerlein will go to the air again. He's going deep. The speedster Gault is out there, and it is incomplete. Oh, flag. Another flag. Now, did Dishman make a mistake and not look for the ball, and that's the reason for the flag, maybe, Joe?
That is exactly the reason for the flag, Ray. Had Dishman turned around, that incidental contact wouldn't have been called against him, but he never gave a look for the ball. I like what the Raiders are doing. Immediately, they're attacking the rookie with the veteran Willie Gault. Dishman backing out, giving Gault plenty of room, but Gault still speeds by him. I don't believe Dishman has seen this kind of speed before.
Defense 28. That's a first down.
Dishman never turns around to look for the ball until it's too late. It was really an incidental contact, though. I thought that was kind of a poor call, really.
Whatever, it's a first and 10 for the Raiders at the 25-yard line of the Oilers. I think you're right, Joe. It's Dishman is going to have a long day if they keep up this. Same two wide receivers. The backs are split. Smith to the left. Deep back is the one and only Marcus Allen. Good hole. Oh, gets almost 5. Al Smith, one of the 4 linebackers of the Oilers, makes the stop.
Big right guard for the Raiders, Wilkerson, just blew across the line of scrimmage that time to get a good hole. I'm a little surprised that they are trying to run the ball to the right side with the rookie Roy Graves going against defensive end Ray Childress. So far in these 2 running plays, they've been successful.
Gain of 4, second down 6, 21-yard line of the Oilers. There's no score because we're just underway. The penalties have aided the Raiders to this point. That's Smith in motion, and here goes Allen. He's got a good block around the line of scrimmage, and he's only about a yard shy of a first down. Jeff Donaldson, the free safety, and Al Smith, one of the linebackers, made the stop, but that was Steve Smith, the former Penn Stater, did a good job of giving him that first opening.
He certainly did, and thus far the Raiders offense is looking much better than it did the entire game against San Diego last week. They really only managed to get 10 points against San Diego, with the exception of a long kickoff return by Tim Brown and getting the ball on the 1-yard line late in the game. Their offense did nothing.
That man in black was Jerry Glanville, the coach of the Oilers. It's 3rd and 1 Raiders. Short yardage offense, no wide receivers, short yardage defense. Who gets the ball? Christensen in motion. Allen, he has a first. He darn near broke that. He almost broke that. It's obviously a first down. Keith Bostic, the strong safety, saved a possible touchdown.
I love to watch Marcus Allen play football. The man is such a terrific runner. He doesn't look like he's as quick as he is. He makes some great cutback moves, and being able to go over the top like this, but he just hurls right over the top of the offensive defensive lines, and as you say, Ray, nearly broke it for a touchdown.
So now it's a first down for the Raiders at the 11-yard line of the Oilers. We've played just about 3 minutes here in the first quarter. It's Allen getting the call again. That offensive line on the right side is doing a great job.
I'm really surprised, and I bet a lot of Raider fans out in Los Angeles are a bit surprised to see the offensive line doing this well so far. They've had so many changes. This week they changed Mosbar from the right tackle position over to the left tackle position. They're going with the rookie Roy Graves, and they haven't had a chance to get any continuity going with their offensive line from last season to this season, so you really don't expect them to do well.
Second down, 3 for a first down. Mike Shanahan with the headset, the young first-year head coach of the Raiders. 2nd and 3 for a first down, 4 for a touchdown for the Raiders. Allen again. He's within about a yard or a little less of a first down, just inside the 2, if I'm judging where that left foot of the linesman is going to be. Robert Lyles will be credited with Richard Johnson helping out, a cornerback, making the defensive play for the Oilers.
Well, so far the Oilers are certainly controlling the line of scrimmage, and I have to admit I didn't expect to see this. I've been talking about the lack of continuity in the in the Raider line, but these fellas are doing a good job of simply blowing the Oilers off the line of scrimmage.
Double tight ends will be in now on 3rd and 1, just inside, well, less than 1 inside the 2. Oilers haven't seen the football yet offensively. Again, the double tight end setup. Christensen in motion. This time Steve Smith. Is he in? Raider players are saying he's in, but the official who counts says no, but it will be a 1st and goal inside the 1 as Doug Smith, the nose tackle, and Kenny Johnson, who's in as a defensive back right now in this short yardage situation. Here's what's going on around the league with NBC's 10-minute ticker. Look at that in the 4th quarter with the Steelers edging Washington. Miami over Buffalo in the 4th. That might be a surprise. Any surprises here as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, I was surprised at that Pittsburgh-Washington score and the Miami over Buffalo score.
1st and goal, 2 feet away. The motion man is Christensen. Allen dives, but there's a flag. There is a flag. Although touchdown is indicated, We'll hold off until we see what the flag is all about. Two officials signaled the TD. And the Raiders are indicating it was against the Oilers.
Defense number 25 was lined up in the neutral zone. Decline a penalty. Touchdown.
6-0 Raiders, striking after the opening kickoff, aided in particular by a 47-yard pass interference penalty.
Keith Bostic called on the penalty, but I tell you what, these Raiders have just whipped the Oilers severely in this first drive right at the line of scrimmage.
The Raiders punter Jeff Gossett will be the holder. And Chris Barr will try to add point number 7, and he does. And so with 9:37 left to play in the first quarter, the Raiders strike, taking the opening kickoff and moving for the score.
Here we see a ground level shot of the touchdown.
Barr at the 6-yard line of the Oilers. Leonard Harris. Good run back. Excellent run back. Well, now let's see what the Oilers offensive plan is going to call for. And tight end Jamie Williams, and that's the offensive line, and it's one of the very best of Davis, Munchak, Pennison, Matthews, and Steinkuhler. And there is Alan Pinkett, the former Notre Damer. No way to get outside. No way to get outside.
Well, the Oilers have
Mike
been
Wise was there.
so successful with their cut back running. That time Mike Wise did stay at home and waited for Alan Pinkett to cut back right into his arms.
Isn't the key phrase there staying home?
That's it. Stay at home, play the cutback.
Gain about 2 yards to the 34-yard line of the Oilers. 2nd down 8. Raiders leading 7-0. We've played 6 minutes of the first quarter from the Astrodome. Givens and Hill are the wide receivers. Carlson. Great. Ernest Givens with that pivot move, and that was enough for a first down before Mike Haynes was able to make the play.
The Oilers are going to go after the rookie on this side, McDaniel.
Hill is on the left. Givens is operating against Terry McDaniel. First down. Here comes Pinkett. I'm sorry, Alonzo Highsmith, the fullback. Eddie Anderson made the tackle. Now he's playing in place of Van McElroy, the veteran free safety. McElroy's out of action because of injury. And one of the outstanding veteran linebackers, Lyndon King of the Raiders, is out of action because of injury. So both teams are hurt because of key injuries.
The thing they'll miss about McElroy in the secondary is his leadership. He's kind of a coach back there, and in situations he can help the players in letting them know where to go versus various situations and formations.
Hill and Givens are both on the left side. Givens now in motion on a 2nd down 5. Will delay, and there goes Pinkett. Does he have enough speed to go? No. Mike Haynes had a bit of an angle, and he stops it after a 26-yard gain, but that was almost all the way for Alan Pinkett.
Well, some of the deals the Raiders have made in the past may come back to haunt them. The left tackle, number 77, Bruce Davis, pushes Wise as far as he wants to, and Wise can't. Number 90 can't quite get an arm on him. Now Pinkett has pretty good speed, but Mike Haynes has a good angle to make the play.
It's a first down for the Oilers at the 26-yard line of the Raiders. 7-0 Raiders lead. 6:45 left first quarter. Carlson on first down. Pretty good mobility, but he elects not to risk an interception. Now Mike Haynes that time was stride for stride with Drew Hill all the way across the field into the right corner of the end zone.
Yes, and I believe he was trying, Cody Carlson was trying to get the ball to Givens, the man who was doing. June Jones called the plays for the Oilers.
Carlson went out of bounds for no gain. It's 2nd down 10. Pinkett is the man in motion. Highsmith is the only setback, and there he goes. A little bit of a hole, and he squeezes for 6. Depending where he hit the turf, around the 21-yard line, and Bill Pickell was the young man who made the stop. And speaking of Bill, I wonder how happy a Rutgers graduate could be after what his alma mater pulled yesterday in shocking Michigan State, Joe.
That was a big win, needless to say, for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. I don't think anyone expected Rutgers to upset Michigan State.
Now Highsmith went out. Willie Drury has joined Drew Hill, Ernest Givens, and Curtis Duncan came in. The 4 wide receivers Joe mentioned a moment ago. This is a 3rd down and 5 at the 21-yard line of the Raiders. Shotgun. Pretty good protection. There it is at the 2-yard line to Drew Hill. And we have our first real physical contact of the game, other than the accepted version, and flags were flying down where the tackle was made on Drew Hill. On an 18-yard gain, Eddie Anderson provided the hit for the Raiders. But we'll wait for Ben Dreith, the referee, to tell us what all happened.
Well, we've known the Raiders over the years as the intimidating team. There's Mike Shanahan, the coach for the Raiders. However, the Houston Oilers have developed that reputation of being intimidators. But Coach Jerry Glanville there, dressed in black, says his boys have wised up a bit. You know, they used to fight at a drop of a hat, he says, but now they pick their spots. Number 85, Drew Hill, just simply outruns Dennis Price, the defensive back. On the left, right there on the right side of your screen, number 85 is being covered by Price, 38, and he's not within 2 yards of him. A perfectly thrown pass. That's the big gain. It's very difficult to cover these 4 wide receivers.
Personal foul number 22. Personal foul number 82. We're going to wipe them off. That's a first down.
Now the reason that the play will stand, what happened between the 2 players identified by referee Ben Dreith, happened after the play was dead, and that's the reason it's still 1st and goal at the 3.
Just a little pushing and shoving. There aren't really any blows out there. Mike Haynes, a very intelligent cornerback. He knows he doesn't need to do that, and he doesn't. He refrains from hitting the little receiver.
Now Pinkett and Highsmith are the running backs. 20 Pinkett, 32 Highsmith. Pinkett, touchdown. No flags. We're within a point of a tie. 5:21 to play first quarter, and a 3-yard touchdown run by the former Notre Damer Alan Pinkett. This game is starting off with fireworks, Joe.
Well, I have to believe that Houston...
Out of a hold by Greg Montgomery. Tony Zendejas will try to tie this game at 7. Whoop, there go the flag. So from 5 yards further back, Zendejas is still on target, and so with 5:21 remaining in the first quarter, we have a tie at 7 here in the Astrodome.
He started pulling up lane. Now, they have picked on Dishman. The Raiders went at him twice. But I was more impressed with the way the Raiders' offensive line handled Houston's defensive front, too, in that first drive, and the way Marcus Allen was not only hitting the holes, but getting over top as well.
When Zendejas kicked at the start of the game, he kicked it away from Timmy Brown, and he does it again. Chris Woods, a yard deep in the end zone. 10. Woo! In a hurry, he went down. We must get the number of that Oiler who made the hit. It was number 33, Spencer Tillman. I remember him from his Oklahoma days as a pretty good running back.
Hey, Spencer nearly didn't get in the stadium today. Fortunately, Spencer works for KPRC, a TV station here, and the security guard didn't recognize Spencer Tillman and wouldn't allow him to come in the game as a player.
Miami surprised Buffalo. Look at that. Well, we'll get a chance to make some comments about these as we go along. First quarter scores, more first quarter scores. Meanwhile, the Raiders from their own 19. That's where Woods was cut down. Berline getting backside pressure, which he's passed to Marcus Allen. And that's short of a first down, but a substantial gain before Doug Smith is able to bring down the all-purpose. And Marcus Allen has to be definitely an all-purpose back.
Hey, anytime you can get Marcus Allen one-on-one with the linebacker, and I personally wouldn't care who it is, whether it's Andre Tippett, Carl Banks, the best linebackers in the league, I'd like to give Marcus Allen the ball in a one-on-one situation anytime at all.
Second down, 2, 27-yard line of the Raiders. 3 wide receivers now. There goes Allen to the outside. Oh, a super play by Jeff Donaldson, the free safety, the 5th year out of Colorado. That was a great one-on-one defensive play, and Allen shy of a first down by about a yard.
Jeff Donaldson up the top right of your screen. I can't believe how quickly he's up at the line of scrimmage to make this play. Jerry Glanville has a habit of calling some of his players, 5, 6, 7 of them, the best in the league. He's called Donaldson the best free safety in the league. I have to see more of it to believe it, but he certainly looked like it on that last play.
Steve Smith, the fullback, is out. Timmy Brown is in, number 81, as a wide receiver, 1 of 4. Out of the shotgun. There's Marcus Allen, and that's a first down. And I'll tell you something, Beuerlein had to get rid of that in a hurry.
Robert Lyles, the left defensive linebacker, was untouched. He came inside from the outside, and it's a good thing Beuerlein got rid of the ball quickly.
Oh, no wonder I was surprised. Miami did not win that game. Buffalo won the game 9-6.
I'm surprised at the San Francisco game.
Definitely so. First down, Raiders in a 7-7 tie with 3:05 to play in the first quarter. Raiders at their own 32 with Steve Beuerlein, the former Irish quarterback, quarterbacking the Raiders. Allen was the man in motion. And there goes Steve Smith, who came back in the game just prior to this snap for about 3, where he's met by, oh, tell me something about this Sean Jones. You were talking about him earlier this morning. You like him, don't you?
Oh, he's an excellent pass rusher, that's for sure. He's one of the guys that the Raiders let go, along with Bruce Davis, 2 mainstays right now of this Houston Oilers team. Jones is not known as good a run defender as he is a pass defender or pass rusher, and because of Sean Jones right now, the Oilers don't blitz nearly as much as they used to. He gets pressure back there, and they're able to play better pass coverage.
Sean Jones, incidentally, wears number 96. We have a new tight end, Trey Junkin, number 87 for the Raiders. On second down, and about 7. Play action. Oh, down goes Beuerlein, thanks to the before-mentioned Sean Jones out of Northeastern. He just plain beat his man on that one, didn't he, Joe?
He's so quick coming off the ball. That's what a good pass rusher needs. Here from the end zone, Sean Jones will be coming from the left side of the screen. He gets past number 87, Junkin, simply overpowers him, then outruns him to the outside. Beuerlein did not have much of a chance that time.
Result, third down, and they must go from the 23-yard line to the 42-yard line. So it's 3rd and 19. So the usual shotgun formation for a situation like this, with time running out in the first quarter. Pressure coming. He's going deep for Lofton, but it's not there. James Lofton, the former Packer, former Stanford. And it's 4th down, and we're going to have the first punt of the game. That means that
sometimes you throw the ball a little early.
Gossett has about a 39-yard average after 1 game, and the man back to accept the punt is Kenny Johnson in place of Steve Brown, who's injured. This is a beautiful punt. Good hang time at the 25 of the Oilers. There's just nowhere for Johnson to go. A 52-yard punt, a 7-yard return, and we say welcome to all of you who have been watching the Pittsburgh-Washington game. We're at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. 7-7 score, 1:20 left to play first quarter, and we'll be back in the Astrodome right after these messages. Gossett, and shaken up on the play was Zeph Lee, a reserve defensive back, played at Southern California, so he has left the game. And we have a new tailback, a new running back, number 44, Lorenzo White, the rookie out of Michigan State. He joins Alonzo Highsmith in the Oiler backfield of this 7-7 game with 1:20 left to play first quarter. And there he goes. Good speed to the outside. Lorenzo White. Have you had a chance to see very much of him yet, Joe, other than college?
I did in college a great deal. He's a strong running back, capable of carrying the ball 20 or 30 times a game. But I tell you what, they could use any running back in that last situation, the way Bruce Davis blew Wise off the ball.
First quarter scores from around the league.
I am surprised at that Jets score, 3-0 over Cleveland.
Pinkett is immediately back in the game now after that gain of 7 yards by White. Second down 3, 38-yard line of Houston. Fumble by Highsmith, and there's a wild scramble, and who has it? Matt Millen was there. We're waiting for one of the officials to say that the Raiders have it. And it is obvious now that the Raiders do have it, and Matt Millen was the veteran linebacker who played at Penn State, made the recovery. Now there it is again.
Hey, that was a good pitch. The ball was right in front, right in Highsmith's gut. He obviously took his eyes off the ball to look where he was going to run and left it on the ground. Now that's the problem that Highsmith has had. The very first time he came to play last year after he signed his contract, he had the fumble. And Coach Glanville wouldn't play him after that for a while. He's got to learn to hold on to the ball. There's Matt Millen.
Oh, he's a good one. He is a good one. And the result, we'll be back at the Astrodome with only seconds remaining in the first quarter of a 7-7 game. Recovery by Matt Millen of the Raiders at the 40-yard line of the Oilers. It's a first down, 10 Raiders. 37 seconds left first quarter. 3 wide receivers. The lone running back is Marcus Allen. He's been a big man so far. At that time, excellent lateral pursuit. And a host of Oilers led by Johnny Meads and Sean Jones saw to it that Allen could not get around the corner. Incidentally, wide receiver Chris Woods left the field after a slight injury. We're not certain as to how it happened, but he's out of there. 1-yard pickup by Allen. Second down 9 at the 39-yard line. If you joined us late, the Raiders took the opening kickoff, went in for the score without giving up the ball. Marcus Allen scored. The Oilers came back with a long drive, and Alan Pinkett scored the tying touchdown. And after the extra points, we're tied at 7. Berline getting pressure. Oh, Sean Jones got his arms up. William Fuller, number 95, actually blocked it. Out of North Carolina, William Fuller wearing number 95. Boy, they're just having trouble handling some of these pass rushers.
I think that the tide is changing at the line of scrimmage. From your right side, you see number 95 apply pressure and get his hands up. He'll be coming in from the right side. Here he is. If you're not going to hit the quarterback, get your hands up in front of his face and try to knock the ball down. And that's exactly what Fuller did.
With 28 seconds left in the first quarter, it's a 3rd and 9, and it places Berline into the shotgun. And he has 4 wide receivers to go to. No tight end, only 1 running back. Oh, that was intended for, I think, Christensen, and Richard Johnson almost had himself a 6-pointer. He might have had visions of grandeur that caused him to drop that, what looked like a sure interception.
Yes.
Kenny Johnson is back around the 10-yard line. Tremendous height. And into the end zone. That's a touchback with the clock showing 14 seconds now remaining to play in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 in this battle between teams that won their openers. The Oilers are set. Their own 20-yard line after the punt into the end zone caused a touchback. Little fake. Carlson has. Oh, what a catch by Givens. Joe, I know now why you raved about him in our conference this morning.
He's so quick and fast, plus he has the great hands. But I tell you what makes this play is that little sprint draw that Houston runs so effectively. The combination of that draw and the drop back pass really confuses the defensive pressure on the quarterback.
We've come to the end of the first quarter here in Houston. The score is tied at 7 between the Oilers and the Raiders, and we'll be back with you right after this message. 32 as we start the second quarter. Now, those of you in Indianapolis who thought you'd be watching Cincinnati Philadelphia will have this game instead because of a technical problem. Carlson pitches, and there goes Lorenzo White trying to get to the outside, but Matt Millen was there to stop him.
We'll see the replay of the pass completion a moment ago to here on the right side. You'll see how the linebackers are frozen. Number 57 Robinson never gets back to underneath coverage. Now Givens crosses the field. Robinson is up front, so there's no underneath help for Stacy Turan in that coverage. Plus Stacy Turan trying to keep up with Ernest Givens. Forget about it.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, no tight end. This is going to be a 2nd down and 10. Just behind Ernest Givens inside the start of the second quarter, and the game is tied at 7. 2 long marches with the Raiders aided by a 47-yard pass interference call. Down he goes. Carlson. That time the pass rush came from the Raiders. And now the 10-minute ticker tells us that we have a tie at Cleveland. Minnesota still leading. Philadelphia leading Cincinnati. No real surprises there. Denver with an expected lead over San Diego. Seattle and Kansas City tied, and Detroit leading the Rams in the second quarter.
Oh boy, that is
Yeah.
a surprise.
Greg Montgomery will punt. Timmy Brown, will he get a chance to perform his specialty? Oh, there's a great punt. Fair catch. Brown, I think, didn't have an opportunity because of that great punt to see whether he would have any room to do any running back of it, Joe.
That's right, and he had to make that catch too, otherwise the ball could have hit and stopped on the 4 or 5 yard line. This punt may be called back, though. I see a penalty marker on the field, Ray.
And we also have a player down. We have a player down, Lionel Washington, who is used as far as let's see what the announcement is from Ben Dreith before we check on that injury to Washington. Earlier, Chris Woods, wide receiver for the Raiders, was taken off the field on a cart. So the injured list is really getting the Raiders, in my opinion, Joe, in view of what transpired before this game, getting them in a very precarious situation.
Yes, they've had some bad injuries earlier to their secondary as well, and Lionel Washington's been one of the steadiest players these guys have had, with the exception of the injuries recently, so this is not a good sign for him.
And he's that all-important nickelback for them when they get into a situation which calls for that.
93 on a kicking team. That's a 10-yard penalty, and it's 4th down.
Robert Lyles is called for the holding penalty, an outside linebacker. Yards. He's ran back 4 punts for 44 yards. He's always dangerous.
With Brown, Lofton, Galt, Givens, Hill, I don't think of Marcus Allen. I don't think I've seen so many game-breaking people on the field at one time.
Good snap. It doesn't have the distance as the other punt, but it does its job as far as keeping Brown away from running it back. But the Raiders have pretty good position after a 44-yard punt, no return. From the 34-yard line of the Raiders, they get a chance to break this 7-7 tie. We'll see about it. For the first time today, wide receiver Merwin Fernandez is in the game. Wide receiver, Raiders. Steve Smith just moved over to the right of Marcus Allen. Steve Smith in motion. Allen met almost immediately by William Fuller, number 95. He's listed as playing behind Ray Childress, and that's pretty good strength at one position, Joe.
Usually they bring Fuller in situation defense. You know, he's not in on first down very often. I'm seeing him play more today than in the past, and it appears he's all over the field. I don't know why he's in for Childress right now, because Childress is the best. Maybe Childress is injured.
And Sean Jones is in for Richard Byrd. That play gained only a yard. 2nd down 9. In motion, Fernandez. Flag. I think Jones might have been offside. Meanwhile, Marcus Allen picked up a couple, but I saw Sean Jones trying to guess on the snap count, and I think he misfired a bit. Here's the 10-minute sports ticker to bring us up to date on what's going on around the league.
96 was in the neutral zone on the defense. They're going to take the penalty. 5 yards and it's 2nd down.
Washington getting by the Steelers. The Bears beat the Colts. New Orleans wins over Atlanta. Minnesota still clinging to that lead, and Philadelphia still leading in the second. Denver with a big lead over San Diego. Seattle on top. Boy, we're only in the second week and surprises already.
Hey, I'm surprised. I mentioned earlier at that Jets score over Cleveland. I saw the Jets play last week, and they looked like they couldn't win any games this year, let alone be beating the playoff contender and Super Bowl favorite Cleveland.
2nd down 4 at the 40 of the Oilers. He's going for Fernandez, but he couldn't quite get there, and Chris Dishman was the defender.
Yeah, Berline wish he had that one back. He had good pass protection. Fernandez had a step on Dishman, and it was an overthrow. Dishman's getting a good workout today, huh? He said, my goodness, this professional ball is tough.
So now it is 3rd down and 4 at the 40-yard line of the Raiders. Steve Smith checks out. That'll bring Timmy Brown onto the scene. Let's see what Timmy did last week. He caught 2 passes for 42 yards in addition to 4 punt returns for 44 and a 97-yard kickoff return. He did pretty well in his rookie debut. 4 wide receivers. 4-man rush. That's Timmy Brown, and that's a 1st down. Well, he showed that he knows that old-fashioned stiff arm to use, Joe. You don't see that too often anymore. Pick up a 15 and a 1st down for the Raiders at the Oiler 45.
You'll see Tim Brown crossing the field right in front of us. This was opened up because Todd Christensen cleared out underneath. Brown gets inside of Tishman number 28, and it's a foot race to the sideline, and Brown wins this one. Hey, he's a strong runner too, huh? He didn't want to get brought down.
12:06 to play 1st half here at the Astrodome. The score is tied at 7 between the Oilers and the Raiders. The Raiders with the ball and a 1st and 10 at the 45 of Houston. Fernandez in motion. Steve Smith. His cutback gives him about 4. I'm sorry, Marcus Allen cutback gives him about 4. John Grimsley makes the stop. Now Andy Parker, listed as a reserve tight end from Utah, checks in. It was a gain of 3, 2nd down 7, 42-yard line of Houston.
I mentioned earlier, I'm curious to find out whether Ray Childress is injured. I mean, he is the mainstay of this defensive line, and right now William Fuller is playing in his place.
Up Childress.
Oh, there he is.
Wait there. He just checked in. He just came in. The fake was to Allen. Oh, wide open is gone. This is 6. 42 yards. Well, I'll take. Chris Dishman is getting. Oh, what a workout.
Oh, he got dizzy on this last play. He got spun around so badly. Look at Willie. Is he happy or what?
Souvenir time for Willie Gault, who led the Bears in receiving for 5 years.
Tell you what is making this too is the pass protection that Berline is getting. He has time to wait on Willie Gault. Gault will go downfield, make a little post move to the inside. Here you see Dishman was tripping already, but look at his pass protection. It's beautiful. Willie Gault ran what we call a post corner move. He takes it to the center of the field, then breaks back to the far corner, and hey, he had Dishman by 4 or 5 yards.
And Chris Barr puts point number 14 on the board for the Raiders. So with 11-12 left in the half, the Raiders are back on top. They had scored early. It's 14-7 in favor of the Raiders. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Chris Barr to kick off. In the middle to accept his kickoff will be Leonard Harris, flanked on his right by Richard Johnson, and on his left by Alan Pinkett. 14-7 the Raiders. Good kick by Barr. Harris is going to run it out from 2 yards deep. Turned out to be a rather unwise decision because the Raiders did a great job of covering that kick.
Well, he was running east and west when he should have been heading north or south. You know, he started cutting across the field. Had he taken it up the middle, he'd have had a better chance of getting some yardage.
Vance Mueller was the first of the Raiders downfield. The scoring drive, just 5 plays, 66 yards, and of course the big one was the scoring toss. Berline to Willie Gault. Now let's see what the Oilers can do about the situation with Cody Carlson at the controls. Givens in motion. And down goes Carlson inside the 5 and a fumble. Now Matt Millen says we have it, and his teammate Jerry Robinson is probably going to be the man that gets up with the football. So the Raiders leading by 7, and Howie Long is the man that shook it loose.
Cody Carlson goes back for the pass, and we'll see a replay here in a moment from behind the offense. Watch Carlson now. He'll get back and get set, but the ball will get knocked out of his hands. I don't know exactly who does it. It comes from the right side, and it's Big Long. Yes, it is. Howie Long gets back there first to knock the ball loose. Is that Jerry Robinson that recovers it?
Yes. Howie Long. It is now 1st and goal for the Raiders, and they're already leading by 7. Allen and Smith are the running backs. Christensen in motion. Steve Smith is met at the 4. The first man to make contact was John Grimsley, and then came Doug Smith, and then various friends. Forward progress will be marked at the 5.
Well, the Raiders should figure that the Oilers are going to be tough down here, playing the run tough. There isn't that much area in the secondary to cover, so they have everyone up there on the line of scrimmage to play the run on first down, and well, they went nowhere that time except backwards.
If anything, a loss of about half a yard. 2nd and goal at the Oiler 5. 10:15 to play in the first half. 14-7 Raiders leading, and a chance to make it even a bigger lead. Marcus Allen gets no more than a yard. Credit William Fuller with the first contact, and Al Smith with the second. Now we're going to have the wide receivers come in. We're going to have Lofton come in, and Tim Brown. Fernandez comes out. Steve Smith comes out. 3rd and goal, 4.5 yards away from a touchdown. Would give a tremendous edge, emotional and scoring wise, to the Raiders. Now Berline takes it about 4 yards behind the line, looking, and there's the man wide open. He spots Timmy Brown. He spots Timmy Brown. But that was great pass protection. My.
Great pass protection. Steve Berline didn't do any dance with his feet. He waited calmly back there until Timmy Brown actually backed into position wide open. We'll get a ground level replay here, and you'll see Tim Brown, number 81. Well, first let's look at this pass protection. Berline has a chance to look right, then left, and now he's going back to the middle of the field where Tim Brown is all alone. Excellent pass protection.
Gossett holds. Barr converts, and suddenly it's 21-7. And if nothing else, and I'm a great believer in this, Joe, for the moment at least, it has taken this highly partisan Houston Oilers crowd out of the game. We'll be right back. Shirt, Mike Shanahan, Jerry Glanville with the black shirt, Leonard Harris chasing it. There'll be no return of this one. Over the end line, touchback, so the Oilers must start from the 20, trailing by 14 with 9:09 to play in the first half. Pinkett and Highsmith. Hill and Givens wide. First down pass, it's complete, and that's Givens, and that's about 7. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Well, already we're going to find out what this Houston Oilers team is made of. Can they come back, or are they going to fold up? The Raiders are going to continue to try to put pressure on the passer, that's for sure. And I would think that Houston would stay to their basic game plan and go ahead and mix in the runs.
Givens picked up 8, but now it is Highsmith across the 30, and that's a first down for the Oilers. Met by Bill Pickel. The 10-minute ticker will update us now on what else is Raiders leading. Givens comes left this time to work against Mike Haynes. And Hill is off to the right. Flag. Something happened prior to the snap. No play. The Raiders scored first.
You know what surprises me? We don't see more ex-NFL players as officials after their careers, because every time I see a game, it looks like 8 or 9 players want to be officials. They seem to all know what's happening. And
False start number 74.
The Raiders have yet to be penalized, and Houston has picked up 6 penalties for 78 yards, with the biggest one a pass interference call worth 47 yards that led the Raiders to a TD. Bruce Matthews made the false start, the right guard. So now it is first down and 15 at the 28-yard line of Houston. 8:10 to play, first half, the clock running. Pinkett in motion. There goes Highsmith. We got about 5 yards back. It's going to set up a third down and 10 or 11. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited. And this game is the property of the National Football League. The Raiders, the Oilers, and all rights are reserved. Second down, 11, 32-yard line of the Oilers, trying to cut into this 14-point lead of the Raiders as we've reached the midway point of the second quarter. From a shotgun. Good catch, short of a first down by Curtis Duncan, second-year receiver out of Northwestern, but about 4 yards shy of a first down because Terry McDaniel, the left cornerback, despite being a rookie, it appeared he knew what he had to do, and he did it. And a player is down, another injury.
Here we see an isolation, number 80. Duncan on the inside or at the bottom of your screen just swings back to the outside. A nice pattern, nice catch too, really. Short of the first down, I think the catch was probably the best catch we've seen today.
And Joe, it was Terry McDaniel who made the play. The rookie cornerback is the player down. He was injured on the play. Joe, we're liable to have to devote a special section of time here to this injury list, particularly by the Raiders.
And particularly to their secondary too. Now Zeph Lee's already been injured. Here's the play right now where McDaniels injures his right leg. Oh, it looked like his, well, it appears to be his right foot got pinned underneath his body. They're a little bit thin in the secondary right now, and they only have 5 linebackers on the roster, so these injuries could cause some problems.
3 wide receivers, and Russell Carter, a veteran defensive back, number 29 for the Raiders, is pressed into action. This is a third down and 3 at the 40. And there for the big first down is Drew Hill and Russell Carter. He's getting baptized already, Joe.
I promise you should continue to go after him.
Dennis Price is in the secondary, number 38. Here's a first down pass. Complete to the tight end. Now, that's the first time we've mentioned Jamie Williams. And from what you told me, Jamie Williams not only is very proficient at playing tight end, but he might listen to a different drummer at times than most people.
He told me he wanted to be the first Rastafarian in the NFL.
Really?
Yes, he did. And I asked him about his hairdo. He has the dreadlocks. And I said, man, how do you keep this thing up with this helmet and everything? He said, well, his lady keeps it fresh for him. So he's all right in that department.
He picked up 6, second down 4 at the 43 of the Raiders. 6.5 minutes left to play in the half. Givens left, Hill right. There's the first down. Givens at the 33, but a flag down. A flag down at the 43 of the Raiders. Along with Ben Dreith, the umpires Dave Moss, Tom Barnes, the head linesman, Dick McKenzie, the line judge, Al Jury, the back judge, Doyle Jackson, the side judge, and Dick Dolak, the field judge. It's against the orders. It'll nullify. Carter is still in there as a defensive back. 4 wide receivers for the Oilers. He might have a first down. I'll tell you, that was a pretty nifty move he made. Stacey Turan finally made the tackle, but an excellent move. Sort of a cutback sort of a move.
I tell you what, though, these Oiler coaches are asking for more trouble than they need right now. When you're running your quarterback, you only have 1 left, and you're using the old college option. You're asking for trouble, buddy.
And there was a flag down again on this play.
That's a personal foul on number 30 on defense. Leg whipping. 15 yards. First down.
Stacey Turan, who made the tackle, is called for, as you heard, leg whipping.
The Oilers have to feel fortunate to get away from this situation. Now they're running the quarterback out there in the option, which I think is just absolutely crazy. And there's the tackle. He tackled him with his right leg. You're not allowed to whip that leg up in the air either to block or make a tackle.
Incidentally, to show how hard pressed the Raiders are in the secondary, we were told Zeph Lee would not return. He's in there right now at one of the safety spots. That's a first down inside the 25. There goes Pinkett down to around the 16-yard line. Bill Pickel made the play, but a good gain by Alan Pinkett. The sports ticker tells us that the Jets are still leading, the Vikings are still leading, and so are the Eagles.
You know, without Bernie Kosar there in Cleveland, they've only totaled 6 points so far in 6 quarters.
Denver blanking San Diego, Seattle with a 14-point edge, and still Detroit by 3 over the Rams. Second down, a little over 3 for a first down at the 17-yard line of the Raiders. Lorenzo White joins up with Highsmith in the backfield now. White wears number 44. And there he goes. Gets it blocked. Oh, got a good block from Alonzo Highsmith to enable him to get around the corner. Dennis Price finally made the tackle, but now the strength of the Oiler offensive line is coming into play.
We'll see a replay here from the end zone. Watch number 32, Highsmith, lead the play with his blocking. He does get injured on this play and had to leave the field, but oh, what a block he laid down that time.
He's replaced by Spencer Tillman, who played his college football with the Sooners of Oklahoma, wearing number 33. It is a first down at the 13-yard line of the Raiders. 4:46 to play in the half. Raiders lead by 14 points, 21-7. Pinkett in motion. Tillman. Practically no gain thanks to an excellent defensive effort by Greg Townsend, wearing number 93.
Townsend has the speed to make that play. Tillman cutting back, may not have had the speed to get away from him. But Townsend, being the quick pass rusher he is noted for his speed. You know, I mentioned earlier that Cleveland had only scored 6. Gary Danielson, I'm sure that would upset. Make that 9 points now that they've scored in 6 quarters.
Second down, 9 after a gain of 1 to the 11-yard line. Carter is in as a 5th defensive back, wearing number 29. Shotgun pressure. That was a great play by Stacy Turan on a pass intended for Drew Hill that was still almost caught despite the efforts of Turan, and it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
He was lucky. Carlson was lucky to get away without having interception that time. And what the Raiders did, they obviously felt that Russell Carter was being picked on, so they brought Carter 29 on safety blitz, and he's the one that forced Carlson to throw that pass quickly.
3rd down 9. Even though he hasn't practiced very much, Russell Carter certainly knows what to do when he's called to blitz.
Sure.
6 defensive backs. Down to the 1, and that's a 1st and goal. And Ernest Givens found a hole despite 6 defensive backs. Eddie Anderson made the tackle.
Yeah, but you have some defensive backs that are limping out there, Ray, and also defensive back and Russell Carter that hasn't had much work. So when we talk about 6 defensive backs, we're talking about a group that isn't 100%. They will see a ground level shot coming up with this play, and you watch Cody Carlson get hit by Howie Long after he throws this pass, buddy. Tell you what, Carlson's getting right in the chest, but the pass is right in the numbers for Ernest Givens.
And we have another player down, and it's the young man who caught the pass, Ernest Givens. No wide receivers. 2 tight ends. Pinkett. He has his 2nd touchdown. He just slid left laterally till he saw the daylight that he needed.
Excellent vision coming right at us. Pinkett goes up the middle and then takes it to the outside. He sees he doesn't have a hole there. He cut outside and then hits the hole. Pinkett's put on some weight this year. Coach Glanville used to say that he could only carry the ball 10 or 11 times a game because of his durability, and last week he carried it 14 times and may carry it more than that today.
And I think we should have Spencer Tillman given some credit. He actually screened one of the defenders out to enable Pinkett to make that cut, and another player is down. 13 plays, 80 yards that drive by the Oilers for the touchdown that brings them to within 8, because we haven't had the extra point try yet by Tony Zendejas, and Alonzo Highsmith now is down for the Oilers. Now the attempt for the extra point. And we have a 7-point lead now by the Raiders. 21-14 the Raiders lead. And with 3:20 left to play in the half, I wonder what's going to happen next. We've had a lot of things happen and much more to come right after the Raiders, talking with Jay Schroeder. Tell us something in your opinion about Jay Schroeder joining the Raiders.
I think Jay Schroeder could be very, very good. He did make the Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. Had a couple of off games with Washington that allowed Doug Williams to get his foot in the door. But when Schroeder gets warmed up, you talk about wanting to see some bombs with Willie Gault and Lofton. I'll tell you what, Schroeder's going to be throwing that ball downtown, and this Raider offense is really going to be explosive.
Timmy Brown, and with the absence of the slightly injured Chris Woods, Vance Mueller will be the other deep man for the Raiders, and Zendejas will kick. Now, with the first kickoff today, he deliberately kicked it away. Now, Brown and Mueller just now switched. I wanted to point it out, even though they weren't on the screen for the moment, but now Mueller is to the right, and Brown is off to the left. I don't know whether Zendejas spotted that or not.
Gee, that might really confuse him, huh?
All right, here we go. Well, Timmy Brown is chasing it at the 6. Timmy Brown. Very little crease there. That was a good job by that Oilers special team. Here's that 10-minute ticker here on NBC.
And they didn't have a chance to change their coverage. It was supposed to be a coverage to the right. So what Zendejas did was kick a very high kick to allow the defense to get down there. That's why it was a short return.
Smith and Allen, the running backs. Berline. Was Marcus Allen met at the pass by Al Smith. Oh, my goodness. Al Smith out of Utah State.
Here we're looking where the game's either won or lost, right down there in the pit. Al Smith, number 54, will fill the hole and stick that Rydell headgear right on the numbers.
Joe, did you take your offensive linemen to dinner and do nice things for them?
I did nice things for them, but by the time I went to dinner, most of those guys were already in bed.
Gain of 1 for Marcus Allen. Second down 9, 2:54 left to play in the first half, and we have a timeout call. Joe, we can catch our breath here.
Yes, he is. He could run a few plays, but I don't think he'd be able to run the whole offense, certainly. Schroeder's a smart quarterback. The numbering system isn't that drastically different, and so Schroeder could get in there and run a few plays, but Berline is playing fairly well at this time.
The reason for this timeout, it's not charged to either team. It's an official timeout, and you can see there that clock is misbehaving. It's really that you have 290-pound defensive linemen can run down a back in an open field. You have an offensive lineman, 300 pounds maybe, that can lead a sweep. That's the change. Second down 9. Berline, play action. Pretty good protection. Oh, boy, he is going for the... Willie Gault couldn't get to it. He had pretty good coverage by Keith Bostic, the strong safety, and Jeff Donaldson, the free safety.
Well, what happened that time, Berline took so long to release the ball. Gault was 65, 70 yards downfield and across field. I mean, I don't believe Berline could have gotten the ball to him on his best day, releasing it that late. Maybe Schroeder could, but they only had one receiver going deep that time. They were going for the home run all the way.
You know, I want to point out another change in the game, and particularly when Houston has the ball, and that is the smallish receiver who has the great speed and the great quickness. A few years ago, coaches wouldn't have looked at those players.
Well, the bump and run rule changed, and so we found the smaller receivers coming into play.
3rd and 9. Here comes the pursuit. Timmy Brown wanted an interference call, but none is forthcoming. It's going to be 4th down. Now what the Oilers have done is get this crowd back into the game. And they're going to get the ball, the Oilers. Gossett punting to Kenny Johnson, who's handling that chore because Steve Brown is injured and can't play. Not that deep. 43 of Houston. That's a pretty good run back. It's across the 50. Wild scramble. It would appear that maybe the ball was loose somewhere in that pile of football humanity. Milt McCall was in on the hit for the Raiders. A 36-yard punt, that's all. 11-yard return, and it would appear that I didn't see any flag down anywhere on that play.
No, well, you know, Jeff Gossett, he's a pretty good punter, but if he were the best punter around, Cleveland wouldn't have let him go, and Houston, where he played last year, part of the season here with the Oilers, wouldn't have allowed him to leave either. I'm sure that the Raiders are still in the market for a better punter, but Gossett's been doing all right with it.
All right, 2:33 left to play first half. Oilers in good position from which to launch their offense. 1st and 10, 47-yard line of the Raiders. 4 wide receivers: Hill, Drury, Givens, Duncan. No tight end. 1 running back. Shotgun on 1st down. Boy, that was really threading the needle. Drew Hill was the receiver, but Carlson threw that pass about as well as you can throw a pass with pretty good coverage back there. It was a 1st down, but Willie Drury could not quite find the handle. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and we're going to get the notification. Uh-oh, I just now spotted a flag back behind the offense. Ordinarily, that would indicate a penalty might be called against the offense. Not so.
Number 70, hands to the face, 5 yards, 1st down.
Oh, a costly penalty against defensive end Scott Davis, a rookie from Illinois. But we have timeouts remaining. Wide to the right. 2 receivers. 1 to the left. Oh, there goes Pinkett. Snapped it to the up back, and he picks up about 8 before Jerry Robinson, the lone linebacker on the field. There are 6 defensive backs, 3 men up front, and only the 1 linebacker.
And I want you to watch number 52, Jay Pennis, in the center. He makes the snap, he blocks, and he gets downfield. He's getting in front of Rod Martin. Doesn't get a good block on Martin, but he got downfield well.
2nd down and 2. And there goes Carlson for the 1st down at the 16-yard line. With 1:28 left, run out of bounds by Greg Townsend. Cody Carlson played his college football at Baylor. This is what the Oilers have done on our report card as we show you. Carlson's had a good day. Pinkett's had a good day, has scored twice. Givens is the #1 receiver. That's not unexpected, certainly.
With those numbers, you wonder how they're losing by 7 points.
Well, a 1st down. 16-yard line of the Raiders. The Oilers in possession. 1:28 to play in the 1st half. Givens in motion. Pinkett gets inside the 15 to the 13, where Jerry Robinson meets him. Now the Oilers take one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Overall, the yardage very definitely favors the Oilers. 177 to the Raiders 70. It will be a 2nd down, 7, as we look at the Raiders report card. Berline not nearly as impressive statistically as is Carlson at this moment.
You know what it is, the 2 turnovers that Houston Oilers had, the fumbles that led to 14 Los Angeles Raider points, I guess is the major difference. And the big plays, the pass interference call as well.
Now Highsmith is coming onto the field now. Pinkett is going to leave. It finds the Raiders leading 21-14. Carlson calling out instructions. Good snap. That was intercepted. That's Howie Long. Howie Long. Pretty good speed. Carlson's chasing him. And he gets him at the 9. Cody Carlson makes the tackle. How the fortunes of a game can change in the blink of an eye.
Good defensive play. They got their hands up, deflected it. Howie Long goes down the field, lumbering, turning around. I don't know whether he wanted to get caught or he just wanted to slow down. Here you'll see the ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. I can't. Well, I think Long deflected
Yes.
and made the catch.
He did.
Cody Carlson to close in, but Howie Long starting to slow down. I think he's going to hit the wall here. Yes, he's turning around. I think he wants to be caught. Look at him wrap that ball up like the big fullback that he should be, maybe. Huh?
Oh, boy. That looked like the posse in pursuit in a Western. First and goal for the Raiders now at the Oilers' 9 with 1:07 to play in the half. Motion Lofton. All alone is Steve Smith. Let me tell you something. Berline is not playing like what would be described as practically a rookie. That pass right there was the sort of a pass that I would expect a veteran to put up.
Perfect touch. Made an excellent fake in the backfield. The fake is what fooled the defense, and Berline has kept his composure and just put the perfect touch on this pass. Watch, it'll freeze the left side of this defensive front. Freezes them all. Number 93, Robert Lyles, is supposed to be in coverage, but he bit on the fake, and Berline laid the ball out there perfectly.
So Barr gets a chance to perform his place-kicking specialty with an extra point that makes the scoreboard change at the Astrodome. And needless to say, the crowd is suddenly very silent. We'll be back after these words from the NFL. Ball in the person of Leonard Harris, if he can find the handle, and he does. Look out! Chris Barr might have saved a touchdown. We've had a quarterback, Carlson, who's intercepted making a tackle on Long. Now we have a kicker, Chris Barr, making the tackle on a return man, Leonard Harris, just when it looked as if he might score.
Chris Barr, just by being in position back there, forced the runner to cut back where Zeph Lee could come in and help out on the tackle.
54 seconds left in the half. The Oilers have the ball and one timeout remaining at their own 48-yard line.
There you see Leonard Harris. He's going to cut back now. He thinks he can get inside of Chris Barr, but Zeph Lee is right there. Credit Chris Barr for being in position.
From the shotgun against 6 defensive backs. Oh, what a hit by Eddie Anderson. The free safety, number 33, on Cody Carlson. And the crowd obviously didn't like it, but he was still in bounds when he was hit.
Well, that's something Carlson's going to have to learn. You better get out of the bounds fast. I mean, you don't stop on the playing field to slow down. Keep going, son. Keep going. Meantime, we didn't pick it up. You couldn't see it. But when I looked up on the field, away from my monitor, Ernest Givens was clean down the middle. There wasn't a man around him.
Oh, boy.
Had Carlson not gotten the pressure from the
yards, and I guarantee you at least a bruised left upper arm. Oh! Catches by Willie Drury. 40 seconds left in the half. Clock running.
Right now, look at the time they're wasting.
Oh, my. There goes Carlson again. Pass complete, out of bounds, 17-yard line. This time it's Curtis Duncan. This is an exaggerated version of the 2-minute drill, hurry-up offense, call it what you want to.
Yeah, I really believe, though, after that big gain, after that first pass completion, Carlson should have turned right around to call timeout. Now in a break and scramble situation, the receiver should stop and come back to the receiver just as Duncan does right here. You start running back.
And one of the officials said, hold on. Why? I don't. Things have happened in the last couple of minutes. 4 wide receivers, 2 either side. No tight end. 1 running back, Highsmith. Flag down. Touchdown. Drew Hill. He beat Russell Carter. At least Carter was the nearest back. Now it depends on who caused the penalty flag to be dropped. Well, there's applause from one of the Oilers. It must have been against.
Defense offside, number 75, decline, touchdown.
Not a word needs to be said concerning the crowd getting re-involved now with 9 seconds left in the half. It's 28-20 now in favor of the Raiders. And Tony Zendejas will try to add point number 1 to the Oilers' total. The Oilers have almost doubled the total offensive yardage of the Raiders. Well, the refreshment stands will be buzzing with conversation a couple of seconds from now.
Here's a look. I sure wouldn't kick it to Timmy Brown, whether it was a high kick or not. I'd keep it away from him.
Vance Mueller's back there with him. His normal companion, Chris Woods, is out of the game. There's a bouncer.
Well, get up and run.
Maybe somebody told Zeph Lee. Remember now, he had to leave the game because of injury. Maybe he didn't want to risk any further injury. I have a feeling he might be in there just out of desperation because they're so depleted in the secondary. There's Zeph Lee with 6 seconds left in the half.
Yeah,
a man deep behind the...
I don't like that. I do not agree with this play whatsoever. Why not go to one of your great receivers downfield and take a chance on a big play?
One thing for sure, this crowd in the Astrodome is ready for the second half already, and we're just approaching the intermission. A 15-minute intermission here at the Astrodome, as we have right now 49 points on the board. An awful lot of things. Wild has completed 12 of 15, 1 for a touchdown. Will be defensive back Kenny Johnson, and to his left, running back Alan Pinkett. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Bar ready to kick off. Crowd getting settled again after seeking refreshments during the halftime intermission. Referee Ben Dreiths is the man who will tell Bar that we're ready to go. There's the whistle. Hanging high for Harris at the 8. Whoa. I think it takes a certain type of courage or maybe mentality to be willing to break up wedges on kickoffs, Joe.
Yes, it takes a man that wants a job very badly and doesn't care much about his physical well-being.
That was Milt McCall mainly responsible for breaking up that run back attempt by Leonard Harris. So the Oilers with Cody Carlson, who's gone all the way. He'll be at the helm, and they're going immediately to 4 wide receivers. Hill 85, Drury 82, Givens 81, Duncan 80, 1 running back, Alan Pinkett, who has already scored 2 touchdowns. Givens in motion. Pinkett trying to find some daylight. Flag down. Might have been an offside penalty. But Pinkett got 5. Decision made by Jerry Glanville and his troops. We go with 4 wide receivers. Hill in motion. At midfield, Willie Drury turned his eye at the Astrodome. 2nd and 5 from the 35 of the Oilers. It's Hill in motion. Smith now back to Pinkett. Bill Bickel made the tackle, but a flag as the play developed. Bickel and Millen were both involved in the defensive play. Holding offense.
52 on the offense was holding. 10 yards and a 2nd down.
Jay Pennison, the center.
Using his hands too much.
Additional defensive backs are in on 2nd down 15 for the Oilers. A total of 6 defensive backs. Short yardage for Drew Hill. Stacy Turan made the defensive play.
Plenty of time to get to the receiver.
Well, we'll see what the Raiders decide as far as their strategy is concerned. Whoa! Carlson really got leveled by Scott Davis. He wanted to hit Drew Hill, but it's going to force a 4th down. Joe, I've had a theory, right or wrong, but for many years that what a team does, particularly a team trailing, What that team does with their first possession of the second half sometimes is a key to the outcome of the game. Well, the Oilers obviously, and mainly because of that holding penalty, are going to have to give the ball up right away.
Sure, that's what they'll use as a cop-out. Say, they didn't stop us, we stopped ourselves. All right, fellas, let's regroup and go back out and get them next time we get the ball.
Montgomery will be punting to Tim Brown. Not too much height. Brown will be able to run it back. Oh, no! I spoke too soon. The AstroTurf claims a victim. And a great roll that's it all the way down to the Raider 15 on a 52-yard punt, and will return to the Astrodome in a game that has seen 49 points scored, and the Raiders leading the Oilers by a chance to run back a punt. So the Raiders from their own 15. We want to tell you about some key defensive changes in a moment. Loose ball. Was it a fumble? Doug Smith has it. It's ruled a fumble. Oilers possession. So the changes that were made defensively, we don't even need to point out right now. But for the sake of the record, the Oilers did make a key change.
Yes, they replaced Dishman at the right quarterback for the left quarter with Patrick Allen, and they've shifted the other quarterback, Richard Johnson, to the left side. But I'd like to see a replay of this if we have it, and what exactly happened. Who knocked the ball out of Berline's hand? We'll see here the end zone from the right side. That appears the ball simply slipped out of his hand.
It was Johnny Meads who shook the ball loose, Joe. Doug Smith who recovered it, and the Oilers have it at the 1 of the Raiders. And we have 12:38 left to play in the third quarter, and the Oilers are a yard away from a tying touchdown. Now, both running backs are in, no wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Pinkett, who has already scored twice, but not this time, instead of the right. 2nd and goal, 2-yard line of the Raiders. No motion man. This is Highsmith. Does he have the speed? He does not, to get around the corner. And Russell Carter helped out that time defensively. And Millen sets up the defense. The wide receivers are in the game now. 4 of them. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Pinkett, the only setback. There goes Pinkett, but he does not get in. Boy, that charge was led by, among others, Matt Millen for 1, Malcolm Taylor for another. So it appears the Oilers are going to have to settle for a field goal. Some of the folks here don't like it, but do you agree with this sort of with this much of the game remaining? It would be silly to come out with no points.
Well, you have to go for the 3 points. If they allowed the Raiders to shut them down here on 4th down, which the way they played the first 3 plays, they would do it again. They're fired up on defense. Then momentum could shift. But you want to go for the points in this kind of a game right now.
Okay. Zendejas, who is 1 of 3 in field goals, that winner in overtime last week against the Colts. So 3 more points are on the board for the Oilers. 19-yard field goal attempt, and the scoreboard at the Astrodome changes. Raiders 28, Oilers 24. I have a hunch that a lot more action is coming our way. Oilers players are acting like cheerleaders now to get the crowd even more involved as Zendejas prepares to kick off. Tim Brown and Vance Mueller are the 2 deep receivers for the Raiders. Tim Brown at the 5. Very good coverage of that kickoff. Eric Fairs, a reserve linebacker, the first of the Oilers downfield.
We're going to look at the problem as having your halfback or fullback trying to block that fast, strong outside linebacker.
I formation for a moment. Now Steve Smith moved to the left. Marcus Allen is the deep back. Here comes Smith in motion from the 23 of the Raiders. Out of bounds, just short of the 24-yard line, driven out by linebacker Al Smith. Wide to the left, Galt. Wide to the right, Lofton. Wide to the left, is also in there. 4 wide receivers. Similar setup that the Oilers were using. Only about a yard before Beuerlein stumbles to the turf in the grasp of Sean Jones. So now Beuerlein and company faced with a 3rd down and almost 6.
With a little more experience, I promise you Beuerlein would get this pass off and complete it to Tim Brown. Tim Brown was crossing the field in a very shallow area close to the line of scrimmage, and Steve was trying to go downfield to one of his long receivers. Didn't find him, decided to run. A week or 2 away, if he's still playing, he'd come to that secondary receiver.
3rd and 6. Fierce rush. Short of a 1st down. The pass completed to Tim Brown, but Robert Lyles made an excellent hit, and now it's the Raiders that are going to have to give up the football. Fourth down and 3. Great hang time. 19 of the Oilers. Run back of 11 yards after a 50-yard punt. Now let's see what the Oilers can do now with this 4-point deficit and 9:06 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Oilers get ready. Their 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter. Each team has had 1 possession. Each team had to kick it away. 1st and 10, 30-yard line of the Oilers. This is Pinkett trying to get outside. And despite Highsmith being in front of him to block, Rod Martin did a good job of getting behind the runner, or behind the blocking, and making the tackle.
Well, I guess the Oilers feel they have to keep the Raiders honest by running the ball occasionally. But right now, the Raiders have Dennis Price playing at their left cornerback position, and he's a rookie. And I tell you, if you don't test that rookie more often, they're missing the boat. They need to be throwing the football in his direction and see what this rookie can do. He's not a starter, so why not work on it?
Loss of 2. 2nd down 12. 28-yard line of the Oilers. Carlson has a wide receiver on either side. There goes Pinkett. Well short of a 1st down. Picked up about 6. The 10-minute ticker tells us the story of the NFL. 24 Raiders. Oilers possession. 3rd down 7 from their own 34. So from the shotgun with 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers. The fans and Willie Drury, the intended receiver, wanted pass interference, but the officials say no. Mike Haynes was the principal defender. Greg Montgomery to punt. Tim Brown to accept it at the Raider 25. Midway 3rd quarter. Too high. Brown. Got it back, I think. Oh boy, that was almost a rookie mistake, Joe.
Yeah, but that's such a tough ball to catch. Even when you practice, you don't get very many of those knuckle balls on a line drive coming at you. It's probably the most difficult punt for a receiver way inside the 10. You have to give Tim Brown credit on that reception.
Raiders, good position. They're on 34. 1st and 10. Marcus Allen, little delay. Oh boy. The battle up front is just tremendous. It's going on right now. Ooh. And that was Ray Childress, 4th year, Texas A&M, number 79, who made the defensive play.
Ray
Loss
Childress,
of a yard.
He just overpowered Roy Graves, the rookie offensive tackle that time, pushed him back into the backfield, and Marcus had nowhere to go.
Brown goes left. Galt goes left. Laughlin to the right. The tight end is Todd Christensen. This is intended for Timmy Brown. Patrick Allen was there to defend. Now, might be a good time again now We are going to go to New York to NFL Raiders, their own 34. 6:31 to play. Third quarter. Raiders by 4. 28-24. Beuerlein seeking an answer. Here comes the pressure. This is Marcus Allen. He does not have a first down. It's going to be shy by about 3. Sean Jones made the tackle. A flag. Just now saw it. Oh yes, I see it across the way near the far sideline.
You know, earlier, Ray, we talked about Patrick Allen being the right cornerback now for the Oilers. And the Oilers also moved Richard Johnson from right to left. They got the rookie out of the game, Dishman. He had been worked on so much they figured, let's give this man a break.
Meanwhile, one of those opportunities we've talked about so often.
Defense holding number 29. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
The Raiders have been able to time. Lofton comes to the near side. Galt wide left. Lofton in motion. Marcus Allen looking for a receiver. Nowhere to go. Now, Galt was downfield on the near sideline. Lofton was not as deep on the left side, but it appeared to me, Joe, was there that good of coverage that Allen was afraid to release the ball?
It sure was. Marcus Allen used to play quarterback in his younger days in high school. And Lofton, or actually Galt, had both the free safety Donaldson on him as well as Patrick Allen, number 29. Allen, by the way, was the one that was called for that holding penalty a little while ago.
Richard Byrd checks into the defense now as the Raiders have a second down and 11. Allen lost a yard as he went out of bounds. Smith and Allen are both in there as the running backs. Whoop! He is nailed by William Fuller, and Beuerlein never saw him, and Sean Jones pinched in from the other side.
The rookie right tackle, Roy Graves, was severely beaten that time by number 90.
In the third period, 3 wide receivers, with Christensen also split away from the tackle on the right side. From the shotgun. Beuerlein, he just put that one up, and it is going to be batted away from Galt by Patrick Allen, the 5th-year defensive back from Utah State.
We're going to see a replay. At the top of your screen, you'll see Mosbar kind of get pushed back by Sean Jones, but actually the pressure was put on in the inside by Ray Childress. Here's the coverage on the replay. It's Willie Galt downfield. Allen's going to get some help, but he made a good defensive play.
Gossett punting to Kenny Johnson as the Raiders are literally clinging to a 4-point lead, 28-24. Good punt. Good punt. Johnson at the 23. He made the most out of that situation. Gets it back from the 23. A 15-yard return before Zeph Lee makes the tackle. So we'll all get a chance to catch our breath, and you can talk over what's been going on here as we leave you for just a moment.
Left leg. I don't know whether it's a knee, hip, or ankle, but that's what he injured, his left leg.
Lorenzo White. Across the 50, down to the 47, against this nicked-up patchwork defense of the Raiders. I use those terms because they have sustained not only injuries prior to today, as has Houston, but additionally today they've already lost cornerbacks, nickelback Lionel Washington and cornerback Terry McDaniel, among others.
I know the Oilers made a good gain on the ground that time, but I would have to probe the secondary more. That's where the injuries have taken place, and they have a rookie named Price right now up on top over Drew Hill.
1st and 10, 47-yard line of the Raiders. Woo! Alan Pinkett is met at the pass by Reggie McKenzie. is down near the line of scrimmage or behind the line. Dennis Price finally brought down Pinkett. But the way the Oilers are reacting, Joe, it appears this is all for naught for them.
There they're going to get a holding call.
A 25-yard run will be nullified. Pinkett was belted out of bounds.
63 offense, illegal use of the hand, 10 yards, second down.
Mike to return. He has sustained a slight injury to his ankle, and he already had the back problem. Now, Dennis Price, who made that clothesline tackle on Pinkett, leaves the game, and now Russell Carter, a veteran defensive back, but as Joe has pointed out over and again, he's had very little time to even work out with the Raiders, but he's in there, number 29 in the secondary. This is a second down and 21. Givens went in motion. And behind the line, Highsmith is upset. Our sports ticker with yet another update. The Jets have another field goal. The Vikings have added a couple of points. The winner with 42 seconds left. Oh my. Great finishes in those games. No, it was too long intended for Ernest Givens. It's going to be fourth down. Eddie Anderson was the defender in pursuit. It came with 2:38 to play in the third quarter. Anderson and Turan were defending against the deep pass. So it's Montgomery's 38 seconds. Flag is thrown. Brown fair catch, 25-yard line of the Raiders. Montgomery's done an excellent job today, one way or another, in negating the brilliance of Timmy Brown as far as being a punt returner. Well, let's see what this one's all. Illegal motion. Raiders have the option. They have the ball at their own 25. If they decline the
illegal motion, number 53. They decline the penalty, took the ball. First down.
Meanwhile, just in time to see Marcus Allen hurdle one defender and pick up about 5 yards as he reaches the 30-yard line in the grasp of one John Grimsley, and Al Smith was there to give him some help.
See, that's where they won him with a 2nd and 5.
Galt and Lofton are the wide receivers. This is a 2nd down and 5. Met by Al Smith, whose name we've been calling many times today. He's an inside linebacker, wears number 54, and there was no gain. Now it's 3rd and 5, and the options are reduced, and Mosbar has been replaced. Rory Graves was playing on the right side earlier, so we must have another change in there. But meanwhile, our attention is on what the Raiders will do on 3rd and 5. Fumble. Brown couldn't find the handle, and a penalty flag is down. We're going to try and use Timmy Brown's speed to get outside. The ball mishandled. John Grimsley was there to see that there was no advance. Illegal motion, so it's going to be 4th down. And now we have all of a sudden, after a wild offensive battle, all of a sudden
illegal motion. 2 men moving at the same time. They decline the penalty. It's 4th down.
It's suddenly
listed.
Kenny Johnson is back, hoping to be able to run back a punt here by the Raiders' Jeff Gossett. Whoop. Poor punt. Down at the 44-yard line of the Oilers. Now it's the Oilers with a golden opportunity as Milt McCall of the kicking unit downed the ball. 24th Olympiad. The Olympics are live and only on NBC. 1st and 10 Oilers, their own 44. White and Highsmith are the running backs. White, number 44. Oh, that just doesn't happen very often, that Ernest Givens drops a ball so well thrown as that pass.
Yeah, but I'm glad that the Oilers went to a good play call that time. Givens is isolated on Dennis Price, and you see Price is wary of his speed. Givens is wide open as he breaks the pattern off, but he does drop a perfectly thrown pass.
So Carlson would be 2 of 6 for more than 6 yards, but with that drop pass, he's 1 of 6. Second down 10, Oilers 44. Motion, Pinkett. Blindsided by Howie Long. He really took a hit. And also there, in addition to Howie Long, was Mike Wise, number 90.
Look at an end zone look of this last play. Howie Long and his buddies up front are doing one well of a job containing this Houston Oilers offense. Number 75, Howie Long. There he comes. He played off the dock, and actually Matthews let Howie Long go. Matthews was blocking Howie Long, and then he let him go, and no one picked Howie up. He said, "Thank you very much, and how do you do, Carl?"
Loss of 8. So thanks to a drop pass and a 8-yard sack, it's 3rd and 18. 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Through the hands are slightly too high for Curtis Duncan. So now it's the Oilers who have to kick it away with 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And Timmy Brown still hopeful of getting it.
Last hit that Howie Long put on Carlson has done something to Carlson's accuracy. That time I'm sure he was concerned with getting nailed. He had a lot of yardage to gain, and he wanted to get rid of the ball quickly, threw it inaccurately.
Crowd sort of settles down here at the Astrodome. Oh my, it's not that deep, but Brown again has. Whoa. That was one of his teammates who raced by him there in trying to protect Timmy Brown, and he was Reggie McKenzie, one of the linebackers, and another penalty flag is down. Well, somebody left the line of scrimmage a little too soon. That was the indication.
Kicking team had 2 men down the field illegal. They're going to kick it over.
Montgomery would fear shanking the ball and giving such good field position to the Raiders that he would put them in good position. He wants to get a good deep punt off now and back them up as far as possible and hope that his coverage gets down there to contain Brown.
You've answered my question. 9 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Good snap. Not that much hang time this time. Timmy Brown, short return, but good field position now for the Oilers around their own 44. And the 3rd quarter has come to the end. So Steve Wright, I think that's a former Viking from years ago, unless there's another Steve Wright.
I played ball with a Steve Wright with the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he went on to play with the Giants, but I know that's not him.
Okay. First down, Raiders, their own 44. Berline. Oh, that was a fine defensive play by John Grimsley. Todd Christensen was the intended receiver, and Christensen's name has been almost missing. They no longer go to him at the key points as we look at totals through 3 quarters. He hasn't caught a pass.
The total yards certainly favor the Oilers, but the points are on the Raiders side. What I don't understand is if the Raiders are going to pass the football, why not attack the 2 corners right now? I think we have a rookie playing at the left corner, and Patrick Allen is playing at the right corner, and Allen has not been playing at all up until today.
2nd and 10. Willie Gault stopped about 10 yards, 12 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, so there had to be a mix-up there. What did he maybe expect him, a little hitch and goal or a fly pattern that didn't develop?
I don't know why Gault stopped. He ended up running the out. It was definitely a communication break.
We're 9 seconds into the 4th period. 28-24 Raiders lead the Oilers, and the reaction there of some of the Oilers would be indicating that someone made a false move in the offensive unit.
Well, the right tackle, Steve Wright, who's now in the game, got a little anxious. You know, he hasn't been playing much. He has William Fuller over him, who's turned into a terrific pass rusher, and so Steve Wright just jumped the gun a little bit, trying to drop back into pass protection.
Ben Dreith, the referee, trying to sort things out.
False start on the offense, a 5-yard penalty.
So it's going to be 3rd and 15. In the second half, there's been no 3rd down conversion by either team. Houston 0 for 5, Raiders 0 for 3.
There you just saw Steve Wright pull off the line of scrimmage a little too early to get the call.
So Berline and company faced with a 3rd and 15 at their own 38-yard line. Lofton wide right. Galt wide left. Christensen could not hold on at the 40-yard line. Whew. He took quite a hit from the formerly very much maligned and beaten on Chris Dishman, that cornerback.
Yeah, but Berline put that ball just where he needed to put it. He threw a terrific pass that time, and you won't see Christensen drop many of those.
So it's punt formation time. The teams collectively are 0 for 9 in 3rd down conversions in the second half. Gossett to punt. And Kenny Johnson to accept it. Very short. Fair catch, 28-yard line of the Oilers. A 34-yard punt, but no return. And another flag. Another flag. Back well behind the line of scrimmage.
To those who with a boundless energy and burning spirit live to be the best comes a salute.
Little note. Second half total yardage. Houston 18 yards. Raiders -12. The complexion of this game has so dramatically changed since the half. Now can Jerry Glanville and his staff come up with something to get the Oilers to moving a football? 14:38 left in the game. 28-24, Raiders lead the Oilers. Carlson brings Hill in motion. So now he has 3 wide receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Givens gets 8 yards in the grasp of Eddie Anderson. Now the sports ticker will bring us even more up to date.
Oh, and we're talking several weeks with both of them. They're in big trouble.
Meanwhile, while I was looking at the monitor, something happened out there. I thought that there was a gain on the play of about 8 yards. It was defensive holding. This is Highsmith. He gets about 8 yards. Turan and Lee finally make the play, but 3 wide receivers right, 1 left. Pinkett loses yardage. The timing just seemed to be off on that play, that option type play. It's almost like just over 13 minutes left to play to see which team here will go 2-0. Givens the man in motion. Very, very close to a first down is Alan Pinkett. And if he got it, it was with a second effort. From the secondary, it was Russell Carter pressed into duty today who made the stop. I'm watching where that, I always watch where the linesman uses his left foot or his right foot to mark that throw. Oilers up to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 43. Highsmith the only setback. Drew Hill goes in motion. Highsmith breaks 1 tackle, gets 3 out of the play to the Oiler 46-yard line.
Carter in the game. I don't understand why the Oilers aren't attacking them more often.
2nd down 7. Highsmith wound up around the 50, which will bring up a 3rd down and 3. Here's some information on today's attendance.
Sell out anywhere else in the country, I believe.
3rd down and 3. So Carlson operates out of the shotgun. There's 4 wide receivers to choose from. Now he does pick on the cornerback with Duncan. At the 16-yard line, Zeph Lee finally puts him out of bounds after a 34-yard gain, and I do not see any flags, Joe. That's left to play, and the Raiders leading the Oilers by 4. There goes Pinkett. 3 very tough yards to about the 12-yard line. Sunday night movie Shooter. All of that on NBC. Fake to Pinkett. Caught by Givens, but a flag down at the 5-yard line. Penalty against the Raiders. And for the first time today,
Holding 55. Decline the penalty. Touchdown.
Matt Millen called for the holding. For the first time today, the Oilers have the lead by Zendejas. Zendejas is on target. Oilers 31, Raiders 28, but 10 minutes and 7 seconds remain in the game. So from the Astrodome to you, and we'll be back. The Astrodome is rocking as Zendejas prepares to kick off with 10:07 to play. This is Vance Mueller, not Timmy Brown. Out to the 24-yard line. Now the pressure goes to Steve Burland. Now, what can the Raiders do about the situation? Down goes Beuerlein. There's the ever-present William Fuller. All the way back inside the 15-yard line at the 14.
Much, and that's where the pressure is coming from.
Second down 20. Flag down, another flag down. Galt was hit, it appeared, by Patrick Allen before the ball got there. And I ordinarily wouldn't say that, Joe, but it appeared to me so obvious that the hit came before the ball arrived.
Yes, it did. That was a definite pass interference. If Beuerlein can find a way to get some time.
Number 29. First down.
If he can find a way to get some time, he can work on these cornerbacks. Patrick Allen hasn't been in camp long. He hasn't seen any action up until today. And of course, they have the rookie Richard Johnson on the other side. So he's playing out of position. Richard Johnson's been playing the right side of the defense. But the big question is, can Steve Beuerlein get the time to pass?
First down, Raiders 35-yard line. 9:23 left. Raiders trailing by 3. There goes Marcus Allen. It's a foot race. And a perhaps saving tackle by strong safety Keith Bostic. 34-yard run for Marcus Allen.
He is a gem. I mean, this man plays a good football game, regardless of how the rest of them do. Naturally, the Oilers are playing run here, and so the Raiders cross him up with a draw play. Marcus just makes a couple of good cuts and then nearly outruns the rest of the team.
So it's a first down at the 32-yard line of the Oilers for the Raiders. There he goes again. Down to the 27-yard line. A 5-yard pickup on first down. And a bit of a skirmish. Still no flag is thrown, so hopefully we won't have any. Two wide receivers right. Now Galt. And I think Steve Beuerlein is saying, in effect, hey, I can't hear a thing.
First time out.
So the Raiders will have 2 timeouts. Yard line of the Oilers. 7:48 left in the game. Willie Galt in motion. Pass complete. The other running back at the 25-yard line with the ball is Steve Smith, the former Penn Stater. Tackled by Richard Johnson, and we're going to have a 3rd down and 3. The NBC sports ticker tells us, as we look on at the Oilers sidelines and the man in black, Jerry Glanville, that the Jets have a commanding lead, as do the Vikings, and Cincinnati back on top of Philadelphia in the 4th quarter. Denver has defeated San Diego. Seattle in the fourth with a 21-point lead.
You know, with Cleveland's losses of 2, if Cincinnati can pull this out, that'll give them a quick 2-game lead on Cleveland.
3rd and 3. Motion man is Fernandez. And that play went nowhere. Richard Johnson was coming, and Marcus Allen and Johnson collided behind the line. Now, it appears that Chris Barr will be called upon now to try and forge a tie.
Well, this last play, Richard Johnson comes from the right side of your screen on a safety blitz, and he meets Marcus right back in the backfield. That's what the Raiders didn't want to do, is lose yardage for this field goal attempt. Ideally, they could have picked up the first down, but taking this loss is going to make it a little bit more difficult for Chris Barr.
A 48-yard attempt. It has the distance. It hit the upright. It hit the right upright with 6:08 remaining. It was in motion. It calls for a running play on first down by Alan Pinkett, who has scored twice today, and he's in the grasp of Jerry Robinson as he picks up 4 yards to the 34-yard line.
I think this is one of the major things in this ball game, is the first down success that Houston has had.
Just seconds are ticking away. 5:30 remaining. Second down, 5. Pinkett again. He's within a yard of a first down at the 39-yard line, and Matt Millen made that play defensively.
For what got them the points, and that's the passing game after this series. Maybe run now.
Now the Oilers had to take a timeout because only 1 second was remaining, or they'd have been penalized. Boy, it took 2 tight ends, just the 1 wide receiver. And Carlson keeps, and a flag goes flying. Bill Pickel will be the main man to be credited with making that stop, with help from Mike Wise. But first, the all-important and many times present penalty flag of the day.
False start, left tackle, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Well, now, this changes things. It's 3rd and a little more than 5. Penalties, Houston 13.
I'm sure better find out why he made it and let him know he better not make it again.
4:31 left to play. 3rd and about 5.5. Penalty flag again down. And another flag is down. Let's see who the guilty parties are this time. Zeph Lee made the defensive play, but Givens copped the ball. 3 of the officials huddle, including referee Ben Dreith, against the offense. Illegal motion. Now remember, there were 2 flags down, and the second flag wasn't anywhere near where motion is ordinarily called. Can you sort this out, Joe, or we'll wait? Maybe we better wait for Ben Dreith to sort it out.
Offensive pass interference 85. They'll take that penalty. That's 10 yards. And a 3rd down. 85 was also in motion. Decline that one.
Well,
That shouldn't have been a call.
3rd and 15. This is intended too long for Curtis Duncan, with Dennis Price in pursuit, and so the Oilers will have to kick.
That's what started this whole regression in the offense and backing them up.
And Bruce, I look at my chart, as a 10-year veteran out of UCLA. Brown at his own 35, 40, 45, 50, out of bounds. He puts the Raiders in excellent position at the Oiler 46. The 10-minute ticker comes up. See if there are any changes in the rest of the game. 3:58 remaining as Berline and company go to work in Oiler territory at the 46. penetration by Doug Smith. He just plain had to have whipped one of those offensive linemen. Boy, Doug Smith, the nose guard, number 99.
He just shoots in the middle of the offensive line and tackles Marcus Allen in the backfield, and that 1.9-yard average on first downs that we talked about earlier has now gone back to about a 1.5-yard attempt.
Loss of almost 3 yards. Second down, 13. And precious seconds keep ticking off the clock. 3:25 left in the clock running. That pass was beautifully thrown, complete inside the 30. Jeff Donaldson was defending, and that was Willie Gault. 19 yards.
Steve Beuerlein shows a lot of poise on this pass play. A lot of poise for the young man. He threw the ball perfectly. You'll see Beuerlein roll out to his right, throw the ball downfield to Willie Gault. I want you to watch how Willie Gault keeps both his feet in bounds. Watch it. Whoop. Yes, sir.
And 2 officials watching to make certain that he stayed in bounds.
And that's what they're going to make certain of.
I think we're going to have our replay official today. Dixon Holman is the replay official. So first down at the 29-yard line of the Oilers. 3:09 left. For the end zone for Gault. Flag. End zone.
No, I don't believe that call, mainly because Patrick Allen turned around playing the ball.
Well, the official in question is certainly getting at the minimum debate from Allen and Donaldson, the free safety. They've called it against the defense.
Defense, pass interference in the end zone. 29.
Here's the
Ball on the
replay.
1-yard line.
Watch Patrick Allen. Patrick Allen will turn around right now before he hits him. Now he's hitting him, but he's playing the ball perfectly. The way the rules have been explained to me this season, he's playing the ball all the way and nearly intercepts it. I don't believe that that should be an interference call.
And understand, the replay officials cannot question a judgment call like that.
That's right. Well, this certainly puts the Raiders in wonderful position. First and goal to go, and they're only 3 points down.
With 3:02 remaining. Smith is number 35. Behind him, Allen, number 32. Now, referee Ben Bryce says, in effect, they can't hear the quarterback's call, so they are granted what amounts to a timeout.
The way that defense is stacked inside for the Oilers, I'd love to see the Raiders make a play action fake up the center and let the quarterback roll out with either a run pass option, have a delayed route by Christensen or one of his big people fake a block and then get outside. It's going to be very difficult to run the football up the middle of this strong Oiler defense.
I should mention that the offensive line, the interior lineman now of the Raiders, because of injuries, is made up of Wright and Graves at the tackles. Wilkerson, normally a tackle, is playing one guard. Charlie Hanna, the veteran, another guard, and Bill Lewis is the center. Well, let's see now what happens when the I know what's going to happen when the Raiders come up to the line. Almost 50,000 people are going to be roaring.
You know, on this run pass option play too, if they were to run it, they're not risking much because all Beuerlein has to do is throw the ball away if nothing is there, and they still have it at the same spot, 1 yard to go.
Well, Beuerlein has yet to get in his position for the snap. No use me adding my voice to what's going on. In your opinion, Joe, should a team be penalized for what a crowd does, in your opinion?
It's a tough one to take, but I don't know any other thing you can do. You have to find some way of controlling the crowd, and the penalty would probably take place on the ensuing kickoff if the Raiders are to score. Right now, there's no real penalty by moving the ball another 6 inches.
Well, one thing I am very happy, we have a veteran and well-regarded referee in Ben Dreith in charge of this game. Now, what he can do at this moment, or what he will do, remains to be seen. He apparently said to Beuerlein, let's try it.
Yeah, but I
And
know as an
Beuerlein probably said,
ex-quarterback.
try what?
Yeah, that's right. You do not get up there and take any chances calling signals with this kind of noise. Don't let the official or anyone intimidate you as a quarterback and get you to try and run a play in this kind of a situation.
Now, maybe he'll go to Jerry Glanville, the coach of the Oilers. Ben Dreith, the referee. That's where he's headed. Yep, he's over with Jerry. Let's be quiet. No, he isn't. Not at least no indication of that at this moment. We had a great goal line stand earlier in the game by the Raiders defense.
Yep.
Forced the Oilers to go for a field goal.
Well, again, the Raiders have 2 backup offensive tackles in the game. I really think if you're going to be forced to pass the football, or if you're going to pass the football in this situation, first down is the time to do it.
I have a hunch that rigor mortis is going to set in here before anything happens. This game is now approaching 3.5 hours. Oh, my. Here we go again, maybe.
Don't run it, Steve. He shouldn't try to run it.
Allen. Touchdown. Marcus Allen. Well, that changes it to 34-31 Raiders, but still almost 3 minutes remaining, 2:59 to be precise.
And what this does, if they make this extra point, well, here we see a ground level shot of it. Marcus Allen getting over top in good shape. Bostic, number 25, was a little out of position to put the kind of lick on Allen you'd want to see from a defensive player there.
Allen, 22 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Barr puts the margin at 4, 35-31. Now, the Oilers will receive the ball, of course, in the kickoff. They have 2 timeouts remaining, as do the Raiders. The disparity in total yardage is very pronounced. Oilers 326, Raiders 154.
Yes, but it's the points on the scoreboard.
This will be Harris at the 5. A vicious hit at the 21-yard line by Steve Strahan. Now, here are all the scores for today. Washington in a thriller overhauled the Steelers. Buffalo edged Miami. And San Francisco on Montana heroics in the closing seconds beat the Giants. Chicago over Indianapolis. New Orleans beat Atlanta. And Tampa Bay defeats Green Bay. Jets over Cleveland. Minnesota wins comfortably. And Cincinnati in a seesaw battle beat Philadelphia. Denver wins. Seattle wins. And the Rams are winners. From the shotgun, Carlson to Givens, short of a first down. Gain of 7. Jerry Robinson made the play.
Well, the Raiders have dropped back into a zone coverage zone. When I say that, the players in the secondary have an area of the field to cover rather than one specific receiver. 2nd and 4 play. This is a first down at the 35-yard line to Willie Drury. Tackled by Russell Carter. We're coming up very close to where we have only 2 minutes remaining here at the Astrodome. 35-31 Raiders. To see which team will be 2-0
Givens, and he stops the clock at the 46-yard line of the Raiders on a 19-yard gain. Oh, that I know now why you were telling me how good that Ernest Givens is. I have only seen him on television, Joe, only in person today.
I asked Givens the difference between Cody Carlson and Warren Moon. He said, well, Moon has more touch on his passes, but Cody Carlson will get that ball on you. Here it's a perfect pass to Givens. Good hands, and he has enough sense to get out of bounds after getting all the yardage he could.
So we have 1 minute and 58 seconds remaining. I don't need to tell you to stay with us. Timeouts, should they need them. The running back is Highsmith. He stays in the block. Incomplete.
Cody Carlson showed some poise on that last play by intentionally throwing the ball away and stopping the clock. Had he tried to shop around for a receiver any longer, he would have probably gotten sacked and used up some time or a precious timeout.
The report card for the Oilers is Carlson. He's thrown but one interception. Pinkett, their leading runner. Givens, leading receiver. But they've been penalized many, many times for huge yardage. 2nd and 10. Raider 46. 4 wide receivers. Here comes pressure. Whew. See, they came with Zeph Lee and Russell Carter, so that's 2 secondary men who were coming. I also thought I saw a number 70 in there. Yes, Scott Davis, a defensive lineman also. So now it is 3rd and 10 with 1:50 remaining. The Raider report card tells us that Beuerlein completed only 9, but 3 for touchdowns. Marcus Allen had an outstanding day, and so did Willie Gault. 3rd and 10. That time it was Willie Drury, the intended receiver. Mike Haynes defending. It is 4th down and 10.
I think Mike Haynes made one of the best plays of the game here. If he gets his hand on this ball, it's so difficult for him to keep up with the crossing pattern, and Mike Haynes stayed right with Drury, got his hand on the ball. That is one of the defensive plays of the game, in my opinion.
So now the Oilers are down to a 4th and 10 with 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining, and they have a 4-point deficit, trailing 35-31, and just about everybody is standing in the Astrodome. Pressure. 1st down. Givens. He was out of bounds. He went to Givens under tremendous pressure. Carlson did a marvelous job. The ball is at the 32.5-yard line of the Raiders with a 1st down.
Carlson gets pressure, but he delivers a perfect throw on an out pattern to Ernest Givens. Givens gets knocked out of bounds by Zeph Lee. What is Zeph's last name? Zeph Lee.
The same setup, 4 wide receivers, 1:40 left. The snap came to Alonzo Highsmith, but it didn't fool the Raiders, and it might even be a loss of a yard or so, because Howie Long, who almost scored a touchdown today when he batted a pass in the air with one hand, gathered it in with the other, and then steamed for many yards, and we have a timeout called.
I love the way Howie Long put both arms around that ball. There's the snap. It's a direct snap to Highsmith, but Howie Long beat Pennison to the right side to make the play. That's what's tough. Pennison has to center the ball accurately back to the running back and then recover quickly enough to handle Howie Long, and that's not an easy task for anyone to accomplish.
Loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. Bible coaches look on. Mike Shanahan was on the left and Jerry Glanville was on the right. 2nd down, 12 for the Oilers. 34-yard line of the Raiders. Pretty good protection so far, and he's in target at the 19-yard line. This time it was Willie Drury in the grasp of Rod Martin, but it's a 1st down for the Oilers. Clock continues to run. They do have timeouts, 2 timeouts remaining. 1:12, 1:11, 1:10. Carlson has called out the plays to his wide receivers. At the 11-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first down, it's Ernest Givens. It's 55 seconds and the clock running. Now, the scoreboard shows 1 timeout left by the Oilers. Carlson just called for a timeout. Now whether 2nd down and 2. I'm sorry. I should not have said that Schrader was waiting in the wings. I got excited. There goes Pinkett trying to get to the outside. Fox stops at the 6-yard line. It's Cody Carlson saying, Warren Moon, don't worry. Quarterbacking is in good hands.
And he's showing it too.
That's a first down and goal at the 6. 35 seconds remain. Now the scoreboard clock still indicates that each team has but 1 timeout remaining. Jay Schrader is here. He is activated, but for the Raiders. Okay. 1st and goal. There goes Pinkett. Zendejas time. Oilers 38. Raiders 35. Pinkett has just scored his 3rd touchdown.
All right, so the quarterback option works this time. A fine play. I can't believe that the Oilers don't have some other plays in their repertoire to go right ahead.
I say Cody Carlson.
You got it. That's fine with me.
Okay. Zendejas to kick off. On that drive, Carlson was 6 for 9, 63 yards, battling the Raiders and the clock. This is Mueller at the 6. Dropped at the 20. 26 seconds remaining. Uh-oh, we have a skirmish going around the 30-yard line. Well, tempers were bound to be boiling over with this kind of a contest. It's been so emotional. So very emotional. And for the Oilers, it follows a very hard-hitting, penalty-filled game in Indianapolis, where, as I recall from what I was told, there were 12 personal fouls called in Indianapolis game. Raiders have 1 timeout left and 79 yards away. Steve Berline. 3 wide receivers. He has 2 backs there with him. Christensen cannot receive the ball successfully at the 44-yard line. "20 seconds remaining. Still 79 yards away. So now it is time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, Cody Carlson of the Houston Oilers. And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. 2nd down and 10. Now, the deep route was run by Fernandez, the shorter route by Christensen, and now we're down to 15 seconds and a 3rd down for the Raiders. There aren't too many plays that can handle this situation, are there, Joe?
As an ex-quarterback, I'm trying to figure out something here. I think they should try and hit something deep in the middle. I know they have one timeout left, and then take their chances on getting the ball out of bounds with another completion.
3rd and 10, flag down. The flag was thrown prior to the snap, so no play. Although
False start, number 73, 5 yards.
4 seconds back on the clock.
4 seconds went off the clock.
Yeah, but they should put it back on.
So with the 5-yard penalty, the task becomes even more difficult for the Raiders, who are now faced with a 3rd and 15, and the ball is back at their 16-yard line. And the clock is starting to run.
Well, they're going to change it. They're going to give them back
They have to.
extra 4 seconds.
They're going to reset it. Now, some of the folks here are applauding, believing the game is over, but they're going to reset the clock. Because 4 seconds ran off the clock and there was no play. Our spotters today, and they've really been kept busy, than Ernie Morse and Kevin Eschenfelder, and we sure thank them, along with our statistician and longtime friend Dennis Mnuchin. It's been an exciting day for all of us here in Houston. Now they're running it down from 45 seconds to where it should be, and I would assume they'll run it down to 15.
Yeah, you know, this is funny to me. As much money as these scoreboards cost and these clocks cost, why can't they just press a couple of buttons and get it to 15 seconds rather than have to run it from 60 seconds, 59 seconds all the way down to 14 or 15 seconds?
The crowd is certainly getting involved. 15, that's where it is. It's at 15 seconds remaining now that that little chore has been taken care of. PA announcer just reminded everybody that that is what remains. 15 seconds. Christensen lateraled it. That play was set up out to the 36-yard line. The clock now says 8 seconds left. And the final timeout has been called by the Raiders. They have no timeouts remaining. They're trailing by 38 to 35.
Well, they're going to need about a 25 or 30-yard pass completion going out of bounds. The question is, can they get that accomplished in less than 8 seconds to have a chance at a field goal attempt?
What's the most dramatic comeback you were involved in, Joe, as a quarterback, with battling not only the opponent but the clock in the closing seconds? Do you recall?
We had one right here in Houston the year we won the championship. We had fallen behind, and we made a good comeback on a great catch by Emerson Boozer. He's running across the middle, and he twisted and caught a ball off his laces and ran it another 40 yards, and we scored with just a matter of seconds left on the clock. But it was right here in the Astrodome.
This is a 1st and 10, and a flag is down. And that whistle blew again prior to the snap of the ball. So they're going to believe they're going to have to reset the clock again.
73, 5 yards.
Oh, another false start penalty. So now they're going to have to, I think, reset the clock to show 8 seconds remaining again. Oh, boy. This game's had a little bit of everything. Still shows 6 seconds. Ben Dreith is looking back at the clock. A lot of very late dinners here in the Houston area. Many of our
Late dinners.
many of our folks, friends here from NBC, from various cities around the country.
He will hold the clock 2 seconds and start the clock.
Oh, what a wild and woolly day in the Astrodome.
It looks like many of us from NBC in the New York area will be spending the night here in the Grand Houston.
All right now, 1st and 15, ball at the 30. 8 seconds left. They're waiting 2 seconds before they start it. He is throwing this in the general direction of Fernandez, but it's intercepted. And that ends the game. Berline is intercepted by Domingo. I wonder if I pronounce his name right now. Domingo Bryant, a reserve defensive back, intercepts the ball, and this dramatic game has come to an end. At the Astrodome here in Houston, Oilers 38 and the Raiders 35.